While a few indie authors can publish one book and be set for life, the vast majority of authors are stuck figuring out how to leverage this one asset to drive more revenue. Stop guessing and start diversifying your portfolio. To put it simply, let's get more money from one self-published book. So here's 10 ways to monetize one book, and we'll start with the obvious choices, but we'll ramp it up as we go further into the list. You want to make sure you stick around to the very last one because I don't see anybody using it. Number 1. Ebook. Now, this is the path of least resistance and the type of publication most modern self-publishers default to. Why? If you have access to the internet, you can create an ebook 100% free. No lie on this one. Number 2, paperback. This is the next best path of least resistance. In most instances, formatting an interior and book cover for paperback tends to be a little messy for first-timers, but with patience and practice or hiring a pro, you can get a beautiful book cover design and interior. Number 3, hardcover. This option is starting to come out across every major print-on-demand distribution platform. In most instances, you can reuse the interior file from your paperback for your hardcover edition. Pretty cool, right? Sadly, the cover isn't as easy since you have to add more for the bleed applied to covers. It just becomes a bit of a mess. KDP recently rolled out hardcover in beta. Should you want to get hardcover with different variations like dust jackets, look into other print-on-demand distributors like Ingram Spark, Lulu, Blurb, Barnes & Noble Press, and there's a couple more. Number 4, audiobook. According to the Audio Publishers Association, audiobook revenue grew 25% in 2021 to $1.6 billion. This marks the 10th straight year of double-digit growth. Not convinced yet? Well, they further explained the percentage of Americans 18 and over who have ever listened to an audiobook is now 45%, up from 44% in 2020. Membership in audiobook services increased, with 41% of listeners indicating they subscribe to at least one such service. 70% of consumers agree audiobooks are a good choice for relaxing, and 61% of parents say their children listen to audiobooks compared to the 35% measured in 2020. Yes, the barrier of entry is a bit higher for this publication type, but it can be worth it. Between affordable narrators and royalty share options, every author has the opportunity to break into this lucrative part of the market. Are you publishing audiobooks? Huh? If not, what's stopping you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Number 5, large print. Though you would think this product type would be limited to only sight-impaired readers, large print books are also great for different things like improving reading comprehension or letter and word recognition. Now, generally speaking, large print is usually 16 to 18 point size font, whereas normal print is 10 to 12. However, do a little more research because it's not just as simple as increasing the font and calling it a day. Now, bonus points if you publish your large print edition in hardcover and paperback. So technically, my list of options just grew. Not bad. Number 6, illustrations and images. Nothing attracts all readers like graphics in a book. Adding them can make an outwardly boring looking book seem riveting and spellbinding. Are you a fiction author? Why not get an illustrator to dress up your pages and just capture readers' attention? Are you a nonfiction author? Why not include infographics, screenshots, or anything to help make your point? Keep in mind, illustrations and images in ebooks will use more data, and some platforms remove delivery fees from your profits based on the file size, like KDP does. Number 7, color or no color. Though publishing in full color comes at a higher premium, don't forget some customers actually prefer reading full color versions over black and white. KDP, for instance, has full color, standard color, and black and white. You have 3 options out the gate. Pretty cool, right? Full color is the most expensive of the 3 options and tends to require a higher base cost. This drives up your retail price, making it a bit more difficult to sell more books. Do your best to mitigate those costs by decreasing the page count. By the way, changing the amount of color used on the page or within a book will not affect the base cost for full color books. So long as you have one full color premium imaged book, the whole book's going to be full color. When choosing full color, just go all in. Now, they actually rolled out something more recently on KDP, a standard color feature, and this is the cheaper alternative to full color. Avoid using a ton of images, and you do not want to have images that take up the entire page. Because it is cheaper, having more ink on the paper creates warping, so go light on those images. And black and white. Wait, do I really need to explain that? Imagine having an option for all tastes. Should you do all of them? Possibly not, but at least you have those options available. Number 8, workbooks. This option serves nonfiction authors better than fiction. That's not to say you can't have a workbook for your fiction work. With a little creativity, you can engineer a workbook for most any niche. While some folks are all swept up in the love affair with low-content books, I'm a realist, and I know this is a hard market to break into. However, if you already have an audience and a marketing plan, adding a workbook as an accompaniment to your normal book is a great way to build out assets that'll feed off each other. After all, customers could stumble on your normal book or your low-content accompaniment. Pretty cool, right? Number 9, compilations. I know this is technically multiple books, not just one, but once you get at least 2 or more related books, be it within a series or their standalones, you can bundle them into one book. Use your newly created omnibus to take advantage of all the previous options I told you before. Just a heads up though, once you bundle a book once, you can't bundle that same book in another one. Platforms like KDP and ACX explicitly state they do not want over-bundled products. I'll tell you from my accidental experience of over-bundling, sorry, I didn't know any better. Releasing too many bundles will exhaust your readership, and in most instances, having that many collections does not raise your revenue. Treat each compilation you publish like a brand new book despite having released the content before. Promote the title and get behind it. Don't simply publish it just to get more money. It needs to make sense, so make it make sense when you publish it. Number 10, translations. With translations, your possibilities are endless. Before you dive into a specific language, study regions that serve that language you have interest in using. Make sure there's a demand. For example, if you want to translate your book into French, study Amazon France. If you don't know the language well, use your Chrome browser to auto-translate the website, which, not to be confused, don't use Google Translate for translating your books. It's still trash, and platforms like KDP will shut you down if you send them poor translations. Keep in mind, you have all the same options you can use for all of your translated titles. That shoots up the number of times you use one book into the hundreds, if not thousands. So you went from one book to dozens, but what if you don't know where to start? In this video series, I show the absolute first-time author how to publish online. I'll see you there.